So, ladies and gents, Evil Dead Rise is a new Evil Dead movie, and it's getting its first reactions. Apparently the goriest one yet. I know a lot of people saw the trailer and thought, hey, this is kind of paint by numbers. I get it. It's a horror film. A lot of it's kind of been done. But it'll be interesting to see what the overall reactions are come release, whether people are actually interested in this franchise anymore. This was going to be just a streaming movie, and then they push it to release in theatres. So this is quite... They obviously have some level of confidence in it, or they think that it will make enough money, obviously, to turn a profit, and, you know, they're sort of quids in there. So let's dive into this today, ladies and gents. I've liked what I've seen about this. I had a source that worked on this film. They said it was pretty decent as well. But, you know, that's literally personal perspective on, you know, subjective material, isn't it? So whether I believe them or not, who knows. They're pretty decent with their horror, though, this source of mine. So I don't know. But let's take a look. So, again, Evil Dead Rise first reactions are saying it's the goriest movie in the franchise. It screened last night at South by Southwest. And loads of people just like it, basically. And these are relative horror aficionados. Apparently it's brutal, visceral, and gory. The most of each of those things. So we'll just go through these. Interesting, it's had its world premiere there as well. But again, you know, I'm keen for this. These kind of things do tend to be overly positive because people are all sort of caught up in the moment and that. But people like it. Yeah, apparently there's not, you know, I don't know, they sort of comment too much on humour and things like that. There's some humour in it. We saw some of it anyway. But discussing film says, a guest shouts, this movie effing sucks during a Q&A at the premiere for Evil Dead Rise. But Bruce Campbell's great and just says, Bruce literally just says you to get the F out of here. But that was, you know, that was after the screening. So obviously one person didn't like it. And good for them for voicing their opinion. Genuinely good for them. But this is what this is. We'll just listen to this because it is funny.
By the way, everybody, the Marauder, just so everybody knows. The Marauder.
No.
Elevator scene over Lee's head to try and get the schedule.
The goddamn movie.
What's that?
This movie fucking sucks.
What?
He's storming out. He's storming like he's 70.
I said.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. Everybody's gone.
He's gone. I think someone got possessed during the movie. I think that's what happened. Yeah. What are you doing here? Get the fuck out of here.
I gotta respect him for that. So again, loads of people like it. One person clearly didn't like it, which I think is funny. But we had this anyway. Evil Dead Rise carries Sam Raimi's spirit while still bringing fresh ideas to the table. The kills kick ass, and it's going to shock even the most dedicated fans. It's not as comedic as previous films and sticks to a harsher tone, making it stand out in the franchise. So this is... The thing is, when you're differing ever so slightly, yeah, it will rile hardcore fans up. Because some people just want exactly the same film. And I understand that. And maybe that's what this individual, you know, that said this movie effing sucks, was hoping for. So Kevin Lee said, Holy Mother of Hell, Evil Dead Rise is nasty and gnarly as fuck. It literally rips. Continues the style and tone of the 2013 remake, while offering some neat twists. Lee Cronin is a directing force, but it's Lily Sullivan and Alyssa Sutherland who lead this carnage circus. Paul, Evil Dead Rise, it's been a minute since a total gore fest like this was dropped in theatres. Claustrophobic, grimy, and mean as hell. This new entry is a crowd pleaser that gets straight to the violence. Will 100% make you wince at parts. It did in the trailer when they grabbed the cheese grater and ran it down someone's arm or leg. That stuff just... Ugh, so gross. Mommies with the maggots now. Every single Evil Dead movie is a banger, and the tradition continues with Evil Dead Rise. A bond between sisters shredded by a disgusting whirlwind of deadites, guts, and gore. brought the entire house down, except for one person. And this is me being as fair as possible, because I had to give that person their screen time. Evil Dead Rise is an unrelenting as the remake, but as crowd-pleasing as the Raimi movies, as a darkly comic spring in its step, even as it's serving up the most extreme imagery the franchise has ever offered. Goodness, it's so gooey. Interesting way of putting it. Evil Dead Rise is a blood-soaked blast. All of the haunting images and unique shooting styles are summoned back on screen. Fantastic practical effects and gruesome contortion work take center stage. It's diabolically comical in all the best ways. And that's kind of it, really. You know, are there others? Sure. But they're sort of like the highlights, as it were. Not an awful lot else going on here, really. Bruce Campbell was there, obviously, you know, being a legend, as always. But yeah, not an awful lot else. You know, sick and savage. It's everything you could want. Another entry in this franchise, a sadistic whirlwind. My body is shaking. Oh my god. Such an engaging crowd. What a blast. What one was very engaging. Evil Dead Rise is effing disgusting, brutal, bloody, scary as hell. An absolute blast of an addition to an already stacked franchise. Lee Cronin kicked this film's teeth in. I mean, again, loads of people seem to like it. Loads of people just don't like. Well, one person didn't like it. I honestly have not actually found an overly negative review. But it's just that one person. Yeah, so there's not really a lot there, to be fair. So Evil Dead Rise. I honestly have not found a really negative review. So it seems positive. And I'm game for another horror film that's just, you know, pretty decent. So I'm keen for it. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. Love to hear any and all of your thoughts. Again, I'm literally just scrolling now, trying to see if there's been any more that have popped up. But there's not really. Evil Dead Rise is rad. The tone falls somewhere between the 2013 remake and Evil Dead 2. There's so much gore and even more child endangerment. Also, there's a nod to The Shining. Oh, we've seen that in the trailer. Or the elevator doors opening and blood pouring everywhere. So, yeah, that's the nod that they're talking about. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know. I'd love to hear any and all of your thoughts. Hit subscribe. Cheers, guys. Take care.